So with that said, I'd like now to turn to Bill Banner for his build along of one of his kids. Bill, welcome.
Thank you. All right. So far what we've done is we built the working on Duncan's boots, and we built the internal structure, and we've added the siding, the front, false front bits, siding around the back. We've added the corners and done a little bit of work in the past week. Well, actually it was done about an hour ago. Covered the shed on the back with a strip wood. It's pre-cut. I've stained the sheet I'm using, but on this sheet here, these are the parts for that. Here's the siding where the door is. This bit here is for this side, and that's the back. So I've already added that, and I've started to add the front decking, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. But before I get to that point, I've also added the sills for these windows, which I did not do last week. So I'm going to cut the rest of these front deck boards off. What I'm going to do, all of these, as you look at the sheet, without too much glare, these are laser cut all the way through, and then there's an etched line along the ends of the boards. So what you can do is you can take a straight edge or just freehand the cut and cut right on through and cut the boards right on. Right? So we'll put some glue on here. I tend to over glue a little bit because these models do get some road use, so they'll travel with me to the different shows. This one probably won't, but I'm just used to putting plenty of glue on so things don't fall apart when they're on the road. So we'll get them on here as quick as we can so we won't have too much silence while I slowly get these things on. Right, there we go. That's got that bit done. Couple pieces left over. So moving along, what we're going to do is put the back wall of the false front on. And I'm going to use my favorite method of putting that on, my spray glue. And I'm just spraying into a trash can. And that'll fit tight on there. You can pull it off a little bit. It's transferred some of the glue and put it back on. I usually do that to get it to stick. Sometimes it sticks really well. It's not perfectly lined up. And just press that home. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go through putting some of the windows in and how I do it. I don't use plastic windows. All our windows are always laser cut because they're all sort of custom for each kit. So I like making the windows myself. So we're going to do the side windows first. Cut those out. And then we're going to do the sills. And I'm going to cut this piece out here. This is also a door frame for the back. And might as well cut the door out too. In fact, I think it'll just break right off. There we go. All right. Get rid of that. So most of my kits on the windows, I've got a window and I've got a sill. I'll add a little bit of glue for that part, and then the sill itself slips right into the slot normally. There we go. So you can see how that works, I hope, right? That's from the back. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right into the window. So I'm going to add glue all around. And place it in the opening. And the sill itself will fit right in there and sit right on top of the opening. What I normally do is I would put by holding it flat against the bottom, pushing that down, that gets it nice and square. And if you look at it from the inside, well, maybe we will. There's just enough overhang on the inside. There we go. On the inside to hold the window sash when we put that in. So what I'm going to do, hold that a little bit longer. We'll just sit here and watch glue dry for a minute. Hang on. Got a clamp right here. Big clamp, but a clamp. Right, that's doing it. Always takes a little bit more to get these window frames to stick well to clapboard because there's so many voids behind the window when you put it on. So do that one. If you got any questions while I'm sitting here doing this, please shout out. We'll answer it. All right. That one should be on there. Yep, it is. And since I've got this rear door frame ready, I'm going to put it on too. And the door frames are always going to be flush all around the opening, whereas the windows will have overhang to the inside to hold the mullion sash. All right. Here's the windows, and we're going to do the side windows first. So, cut the lower sash out. And the uppers.
Bill, I gather you put the glazing on last, do you not?
I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Glazing sheet. All the window sash bits have an adhesive backing. So peel that off. Take it. Drop it right over the appropriate bit. And normally I would put the lowers up on the sheet so that I can hang the uppers off the bottom. The glazing that I use has a tissue backing, thus the whiteness. We'll peel that off in just a minute. But always be sure that you stick your window frames, mullions, sash bits on the shiny side. If you stick it on the tissue side, it's grief from there, trust me. So I'll take the point of this tweezer and just kind of stick it underneath the tissue and pull it off. When the laser cuts the Mylar, it sort of sticks the tissue to the window piece. And we actually want that. That way it stays in place. So now I'm going to add some glue to the out. Well, before I do that, I'm going to make sure it fits. Ah, how about that? It does. So I'm going to put a little glue on the outside edge on this here. In fact, plenty of glue. There we go. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm left-handed and the camera's always on the wrong side. So there we go. Stuck that from the inside. We'll do this sash here. You know, if your forceps won't dig underneath it, take your blade and just get underneath that tissue to get it off. A little bit of glue on this. One of the advantages to our windows, and others too, is you can have your windows open if you wish. Right? So there we go. We got an open window. And sometimes it's kind of cool to take a window curtain or shade and have it flying out the window. So I'm not going to put these in right now. I'll do that off screen next week, about 10 minutes before the show. But I will put the bigger ones in just so we can move on to that. We'll put a door in too. And basically the same thing. Keep whittling at it. Eventually that backing paper will come off. If it doesn't, just throw it in the bin and call me and I'll send you another set. I'll use a knife this time. What I really like about this is you've always got, as long as you're careful, a nice, clean, smudge-free window. So I'm going to take this one and test fit it in the opening. Make sure it fits, and it does. And there you go. Let's do the other one too, because it looks pretty cool. So I put the window in. I always hold it from the top, and I'll take it and set it right down on top of the sill, and then push it into the opening from the back, so it's right tight against that frame, so that there's no gaps all around it. And there you go. And you notice I didn't put any glue on those when I put them in. I can add glue from the inside now, just to the sides. And then they're in, no problem. Yep, got a little smudge on that one, but hey, it's live TV. Put that back on. And that's got it. So we're gonna do one more thing tonight. I'll point out too, on this sheet, there's these two long, narrow windows. They will go on the inside for these guys. And then there's this window here. That is actually the transom window, which will go up here. And next week, magically, they will appear in the right spot. But in the meantime, we're going to put the roof together. And it's 2 roof panels and a couple of supports. I'll just break these right out because they got a knob on them. It really doesn't matter that much. Actually, the nubs are annoying, so I'm going to cut it off. The roof is always 2 panels or more, and it's got the slots on the ends for the supports. And they're only going to go one way. So we're going to slide this in right like that, press it down, and I'm going to put the other one in dry, just test fitting these guys. Sometimes they can be fairly snug when they go into the slots. It just depends upon who was running the machine that day that actually made the paper or the MDF, because sometimes it can be a little bit thicker. It'll vary, so it'll be kind of tight to get them in there. So I'll lay in a bead of glue right along the edge where it fits in. And normally I would let it sit for 5 minutes so that glue will set up. But since we're live, I'm going to see if I can get it together without it falling apart. Ah, there, good. Add another bead. I'll do it on there, and I'll also add a bead right along the top edge here. Right? There we go. I love it when a plan comes together. All right, come on. There we go. All right. I'm going to add some more glue because falling apart just got glue where it didn't want to be. Okay. There we go. And that's going to be it for today.
You know, I like that glue because it reminds me of the soldering that I do in brass. Once I soldered it, it's there, period.
Yeah.
So that's neat. Anybody have any questions? Well, Bill, I thank you so much for being here. By the way, how's your large scale Shay coming?
It's coming along. We just got the parts back from the laser cutter cutting the steel for the throttle and the Johnson bar. So we'll be hooking that up Friday, or at least getting them in place on Friday. So.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks so much. See you next week.
All right. Thank you.